All right, what is up, everybody? Hope everyone's having a fantastic Wednesday. The Reds got a big dub last night, much needed. Now, can we just please win 2 games in a row? It's been way too long since this team's won 2 games in a row. Can we please, for the love of God, can we win 2 games in a row? We need it. We can't keep winning one and then losing six. Can we win another game tonight? We're going to find out. We're going to find out. Little preview of the game tonight. We got Nick Martinez on the mound for the Reds. Things haven't gone great for Martinez when he started so far this year. He has been pretty solid overall. He's been great out of the bullpen. Just some stats here for you. He's got a 4.23 ERA on the season. Coming out of the bullpen this year, he's been so much better, as I've said. As a starter, he's given up 31 hits, 16 earned runs in 21 innings. Compare that to the bullpen. He's only given up 10 hits and 2 earned runs in 17 and a third innings. So, I mean, it's nice to have. You don't have to pull up a guy from AAA. You can just go ahead and start Nick Martinez. It's nice to have that option, but he hasn't been great so far as a starter. If you get 5 and 3 earned runs out of him, I think you'll take that. It's scary with the Reds offense not being able to score much, but he'll keep you in a game most of the time. He's been super valuable out of the bullpen. I mean, what him and Brent Suter can do coming out of the bullpen and throwing multiple innings, I think that's an absolute weapon. So he's been a great signing, I think. We'll see how tonight goes. Here's some more stats from old Nick Martinez. He's also been way better on the road than at Great American Ballpark. He doesn't like pitching in the sandbox, that is GABP. Opponents have a 319, 353, 479 slash against him at GABP. They have a slash line of 186, 200, and 237 against him on the road. He probably loved it out west, being able to pitch in those big ballparks. Nick Martinez is a guy who pitches to a lot of contact. He's only had more than 3 strikeouts once all season long. So something to keep your eye out on there. We'll see. We need him to keep us in the game tonight. We need the bats to come alive. It's been rough so far, but going for the Padres is Michael King. Michael King has a 4.31 ERA with 61 strikeouts in 54 and a third innings. So it is a guy that strikes out a lot of people. We know this Reds team can strike out a lot. I think they're in top 10 in Major League Baseball in strikeouts. So we'll see. We'll see. That's kind of it for the pitching matchup. Jacob Hurtubise gets his second game in a row where he's batting leadoff. I don't think he had a hit last night, but he had some good at bats. He walked to start off the game. He makes the pitcher throw. He's not going to swing in a lot of balls. He makes the pitcher, put it over the plate. He's not going to hit for much power, but I kind of like that about him. I think the Reds right now just need a good approach at the plate, and they need to make pitchers throw a lot of pitches. The Padres have used their bullpen a ton over the last 2 days. They had a doubleheader on Monday, and last night Musgrove went 3 innings or so, so they had to pitch 5 guys I think last night. It would be huge to get into the Padres bullpen early again tonight. Ellie De La Cruz in the 2-hole, Jamie Candelario in the 3-hole, Tyler Stevenson in the 4-hole, everybody's favorite Mike Ford in the 5-hole. We need something from Mike Ford tonight. We need something from Mike Ford. We just need something from him. Spencer Steer is back batting 6th. Nick Martini makes his return for the Reds batting 7th. Jonathan India 8th, and Will Benson in the 9-hole. Can we win 2 games in a row? That's all I'm saying. The Reds just need to win 2 games in a row. We just need to do it. We need to do it. It's not that hard. We need to win 2 games in a row. Then we'll win 12 in a row. That's all we need to do. All right. Got a couple questions here, and we're going to jump off here. I'll do these every once in a while. Just previewing the game, a quick preview. We got some questions from the old X app. First one comes from Tristan Emmons on Twitter. How long do you think until Zach Maxwell gets a shot at being the closer? Diaz just does not look the part this season. I think Zach Maxwell has a good shot of being the closer in the future. I'm not sure he gets a shot this year. David Bell is a guy who trusts his guys a lot. So unless things just unravel and go really wrong with Diaz, I don't see them swapping him out of that role. And if they do, I think they would give it to somebody in the big league club. I do think Maxwell has a very good shot, and I'm pretty sure we'll see him as a Cincinnati Red this year. Guy throws absolute gas. He gave up his ERA was like 1.14 or something crazy like that in Double A. He just got called up to Louisville yesterday. He did not pitch in last night's game, but I do think we'll see him at the bullpen. The crazy thing is the Bats actually have a lot of good bullpen arms down there. If you look in the bullpen down there, their ERAs are really good down there. They have a lot of arms. The Reds have a lot of bullpen depth right now, which is a great thing. The Reds pitchers have been able to stay relatively healthy compared to the batters so far. So I don't think Maxwell will be a closer this year. I think he does have the potential to be a closer long term. But I think if anything, they bring him up and kind of ease him into it a little bit. It's hard to bring up a guy and throw him right into, big situations like that. I think they ease him into it, but I do think we'll see him in Cincinnati this year. Thanks for the question, Tristan. Appreciate you following. Ohio State basketball enjoyer Brody Knows Ball said, do you think Jacob Hurtubise is a major league level player? Jacob Hurtubise, he's an interesting kind of player. First of all, I'm going to preface this with that. Unbelievable dude. I've had the pleasure of talking with the guy multiple times. I think he follows me on Twitter, which is pretty cool. I've talked to him multiple times. Just an unbelievable dude. Really nice guy. I mean, it's impossible to not root for a guy like him. He's an interesting player. He doesn't play like, he's not a flashy player. He's not going to hit for a ton of power. He's not anything like, the Ellie De La Cruz is, but he puts together good at bats. He makes a lot of contact. He will walk a ton. So I think there's a role for him. I don't know if I don't ever see him being like an everyday starter. I could be wrong. I hope he proves me wrong. I don't see him being like an everyday starter in the major league, but I think there's a role for him. He's a good defender, a lot of speed. He'll put together a good plate appearance. He really will. He'll make you throw pitches. I could see him. It's hard to find who would be a good comparison for someone like him, but I would say maybe like a Luis Ariz who's on the Padres. Maybe not quite as good hitting tool, but that's comparable. Tons of contact, lots of probably more speed than Ariz has, but that would be what I'd say about Hurtubise. I think unbelievable dude. I think there's a spot for him, and I'm excited he's getting a chance. I love that they put him in the leadoff spot because he works a great at bat. He's not going to go up there and strike out on 3 pitches very often. Thanks for the question. All right, last question we got here before we head off. Which player is the most likely to break out of their early season slump? Man, this comes from Timothy Paul 198 on the OLX app. I don't know the answer to this question. I mean, I don't know the answer. Everybody's in a slump. Everybody's in a slump besides Tyler Stevenson. He didn't have a great night last night, so who knows? I can't say Ellie. I mean, Ellie has been slumping in May. He played okay last night. What I'm going to say is Will Benson. Will Benson has had to face a ton of lefties. Once he doesn't have to face as many lefties anymore, I think he'll get back to mashing right-handed pitching. His numbers are actually slightly above average against righties this year still, which I don't think a lot of people realize. He's just been so bad against lefties that it's made his numbers look worse. So I'm going to say Will Benson. Hopefully we get somewhere in the vicinity of the Will Benson we saw last year. We'll see. We'll find out. But that's it for today. We need a Reds W. We need a Reds W. Can we put together a win streak just one time? Just one time. That's all we're asking. Can we win a series? We've lost 8 straight series or 7 straight series, and I think we split one. Can we win a series? It's not that much to ask. Anyway, go Reds. We'll see you tonight at 6:10 or 6:40, whenever the game starts at GABP. We'll be rooting you on. See you later. Go Reds.